You're listening to the Hella Well with Danielle show, a podcast taking women of color on a journey exploring all things wellness and travel related. We're all about showing you how to put on your oxygen mask first and creating lasting self-care habits that will free you to travel the world and live the life you truly desire, and not one you have to fake loving. I'm your host, Danielle Washington. Now let's buckle up and start this journey. Hey y'all, and welcome to the Hella Well with Danielle podcast, your weekly mental vacation from the daily grind for women who are busy and just need a moment to relax, breathe, and just woosah. I am your host, Danielle Washington, and this week, today in general, has been one of those days when you're like, you don't see the storm coming, but when you're in it, honey, you know you're there. You may not always know you're there, but oftentimes when it's really thick and it's like it's pouring in every different direction, you can't help but miss it. And that's where I am. And to the point where I was like, I'm just going to record this podcast now. So you may be hearing some background noises that I typically try to avoid, but today this message needs to get out because a sister is freaking out. A sister is not even low-key, card carrying, freaking out, headache hurting, heart palpitations, everything freaking out. And I wanted to have this conversation to say, okay, this is where I am, and kind of explain what I'm doing to get through it, and also know that I'm not the only one who's gone through a storm recently or in general. So if you may be listening to this now or later on at another time because you're going through your own storm, I want you to know that there's a way to stay grounded. And there's a way to kind of, the things that go through, that you're not alone. You're not alone in these moments. But before we do anything, I want us to breathe. I have been using this breath technique a lot this week. So what it is you breathe in, you inhale, and then once you've inhaled to the fullest, take another inhale, and then you're going to exhale out of your nose. So you're inhaling through your nose, pausing for a second, inhaling again with that same breath held in, and then exhaling. So it's a double inhale and a long exhale. So it feels something like this. So inhale deeply, inhale again, hold briefly, and exhale. One last time, inhale deeply, inhale again, and exhale deeply. And just sit for a moment, seeing how you feel. You can do this breath for a couple of minutes. It's really known to help calm anxiety down quickly by doing this for 2 to 3 minutes. And so I invite you to do it whenever you feel like you need this breath. You can do this at any time, any place, but it is the breath that has been getting me through this week and definitely today. So why don't I share a little bit about what's going on in my life? Where does one begin? So this episode really is like a real-time reflection of me navigating my unexpected life challenges. So I may be a little bit off more so than usual. It may not seem as polished, and I say, please provide me with grace, because I'm giving myself grace for this moment because I felt like it was important to share this. So I have a consulting job that helps pay for my bills. I call it my silent investor, which has helped me out a lot. It's been able to afford me to be able to take my yoga training classes and to become a Reiki practitioner and do all these things without having to feel like, oh my God, this is gotta work or otherwise. And it's been my safety net. Point blank, I've had a safety net. And I just discovered my safety net may be going away due to some other financial situations. Like, I get it. The market's not the best. Things are going on in life. And, I got news that things are going to change, and I have a meeting tomorrow that's going to say, hey, either you're staying on or we're letting you go, or staying on to some degree, but we're going to have to cut your compensation significantly. And I saw it. We sometimes see the storms. Not even that I saw the storm. I saw the storm coming, but I felt it in the beginning of the year. Beginning of the year, end of last year, something said, this is your comfort is going to have to be shooken up. And I was like, no, everything's going to be fine. Look, we're still good. We made it through June. All is well. And here we are in August. And the storm has hit. And when I got the first news about the potential situation affecting my lifestyle and my finances, my comfort level, I freaked out. Like, nervous system freaked out. My head was hurting. My chest was like palpitations. And the first thing I wanted to do was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We need to drink. We need to drink it away, and we're going to need to go do all these crazy things. And I was like, no, that's old Danielle. We don't do that. That's old Danielle looking for old comfort zones that helped me when I was a victim. Like, if you're going to be a victim, Danielle, okay, we need you to go deeper. So now you're going to get drunk, and you're going to have a hangover, and you're still going to have these problems because you're going to try to run as fast as you can. But then there's the other side of Danielle that it's weird, because I'm at this point where one voice inside of me is screaming, girl, run, fire. Everything's on fire. You need to figure out something fast. Your life is about to explode. You're about to be on fire. While there's another quiet voice inside of me that's saying, all will be well. There's another voice inside of me that's saying, everything is working out for my own good. Everything is working out as God, universe has planned. And I wouldn't have heard that voice if it wasn't for my meditation practice, if it wasn't for the breathing exercises I'm doing, especially the fact that I've been doing this August breather. I don't think there's a coincidence that I felt like I need to do this in August. Like, that has been really helping me be methodical and consistent with my breathing. I already do my practice in general, but I'm just doing now a little bit more because of the practice, because of the breathing challenge that I'm doing. But it's like these two voices, the storm inside that's one's flipping out, the other one's calm. And I'm like, well, who do I listen to? Which way do I go? And it's like, I had this moment where when the voice who was freaking out and everything's on fire was like, oh my God, you just turned down a lucrative opportunity. You should call them back and say, no, I'm going to do it. While the other voice inside me was like, no, you said that wasn't in alignment with your energy and your capacity at this point. And I had to sit back and ask myself again, well, has something changed? Has this changed? I'm like, no, I don't think it's changed my energy capacity. But the other side, that where everything's on fire, was like, grab at everything. Grab at anything and everything, because the house is on fire. And I recognize I'm at a crossroads. I recognize that I am at a crossroads right now. I have been super comfortable. I have not had to worry about anything. I had not had to worry about a paycheck coming in, or worrying that I wasn't going to be able to afford certain things. It's been a long time. But when something like that happens, best believe it brings back all those old memories and those old feelings and those old triggers. And my body has just been literally just achy. I can't sleep, and I'm just having all these problems. So what do you do when life presents you at a crossroad? When you least expect it, which is usually what happens. Like, I feel like, is this a test? Is this a sign that I need to do something? Like I'm going back and forth. I'm like looking. I'm like, is this a test, God? Are you testing me to see if I'm listening and that I'm following along and that I have the tools? Or is this a sign that says, okay, it's time for it's time for you to move forward. We've been trying to nudge you. Now we're just going to push you. And I've been looking. I'm looking. I am desperately looking to see if I'm being pushed towards growth, even when it's painful. I'm looking to see, am I being pushed towards this growth because I refuse to listen to the nudges? Like, okay, we gave you a couple of hints. Now you just want to get bitch slapped. Okay, we see you. We got you. Here you go. Here is this painful growth. And it doesn't have to be painful. I sit here and say painful, but it doesn't have to be painful. I find it so uncomfortable, but at the same time reassuring that I feel like everything is going to work out just as it should for me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like my colleagues are freaking out and I get it. And I was just like, it's going to be what it's going to be. And I'm so confused that, like, who's this girl who's hella calm? Who's this girl who's just chilling? Because the girl who's chilling is showing up. She's showing up, and I think she's showing up because I've been doing some serious grounding. I've been shaking. I love to shake. And I find shaking is one of the best ways. Like sometimes I wish I had more knowledge to tell you about it. Like I've done some somatic work to know enough to know what to do. But I love shaking. Like when my system feels like it is freaking the F out, I start shaking. I shake everything. I feel bad for my neighbors, but they don't feel the shake because I'm shaking all of the energy that's stuck in this fear that's in my heart. The fear that goes in the back of like my shoulder blades, which I feel like it comes, that's where I feel that fear. So I've been shaking. I've been doing certain meditations and yoga practice to help to remove negative mind, to help, get clarity. I've been doing some stuff that's connecting the heart to the mind. I've been doing this other one that I've been loving, and it's about connecting and awakening the silent observer, which is helping me stay grounded and to see the messages and see that, okay, there's some things we can be doing in this storm. And I encourage you to consult with your inner compass in these moments. And make sure you listen to the right voice, because there may be a couple of voices that are speaking to you. I know in my situation, there's been a couple of voices that are speaking to me. But you need to differentiate between the reactionary voice and the intuitive voice. Because the reactionary voice will give you reactionary moves, and like me saying yes to something that I was like, I had already said no to. The intuitive voice will give you intuitive decisions because it knows your true self. It knows where you need to go. It knows what lessons you need. It knows what you need to move to that next level. So I'm still freaking out in one way or another. I'm still terrified. I like change, but I don't like change. I like certain types of change, but I like to be in control. And I don't feel like I'm currently fully in control. I feel, and this is a whole other podcast episode, I've been struggling with trust. I've been struggling with trust of God and the universe. I don't even know where to go in with that one, because I do know it's a whole other episode. I'm a strong believer, but at the same time, I like to feel like I'm in control of my future. And so there's this moment of surrender, as my therapist would tell me. And I'm like, stop saying those bad words, surrender. But maybe this is it. It's interesting that I find myself surrendering to some degree in the midst of this storm. I find myself embracing the change in the midst of this storm. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no clue. I have honestly no clue what's going to happen. But I know I will be okay. And I don't think I would have felt this way if I didn't have the tools that I use on a daily basis, like the breathing exercises, like the meditation, like my 1,000-day meditation that I'm probably on day 400 something now on. I definitely think this is helping me a lot because it talks about removing that fear. It talks about that indestructible power of victory. And somehow I am channeling this because all I know is it's going to work out. It may be hard. It may have some growing pains. But I know that I know that I know I'm going to come out just okay. Despite of anyone else trying to do otherwise. So I just want you to know that you're not alone in facing life storms. Just like in nature, after every storm, there's a calm and there's a clarity. I think it's a tornado. Yes, it is a tornado. In the midst of tornadoes, there's a calm in that. So sometimes it's not just after the storm. There's a calm in the storm if you allow it. And oftentimes the landscape looks a little bit different. But it offers new beauty, new opportunities. Being grounded, finding your peace, even in the smaller moments. And making sure you're able to differentiate between that reactionary voice, the one who's like, everything's on fire, run girl, run. And the one that's like, no, hold up, I got you. We got this. We can get through this. We've gotten through a lot worse. We can get through this. But you got to be able to tap into that girl. That girl is the one who's going to get you through this. So that's what I'm doing. I'll keep you guys posted. Pray for a sister. I am not too proud to ask for prayers. Pray for me. Yeah. I do feel like it's pushing me to think about some other things that I wasn't thinking about, or I was thinking about, but I was too afraid to move on. It's pushed me to move through some things that I was too afraid to move on. Well, dang. I'll keep y'all posted. Other than that, I will talk to you guys next week. Ciao. Thanks for joining us this week on the Hello Well with Danielle show. Make sure to visit our website, hellowellwithdanielle.com, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music and never miss an episode. Also, you can follow us on social media at Hello Well with Danielle on Facebook and Instagram, and Hello Well Danny on Twitter. And if you like hella love the show and got some good nuggets out of it, know that I'm not too proud to ask for you to please leave a rating or review on iTunes so that we can continue to expand our reach and help other women of color. Again, thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Ciao.